Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. And this is our NXT review. The NXT after Takeover 36. And interesting show. We learned a bit more about what's going to happen with Samoa Joe now that he is a three-time NXT champion. Some of the women got their stories furthered, notably JC Jane and Gigi Dolan. Other gimmicks seem to have been completely derailed by the looks of it, and other closed loops. I don't know really where they go from here. I guess it was like a reset button, which leaves me kind of perplexed. So on the whole, if I was to grade this NXT, there was quite a bit of solid stuff. I think I'd come in at a 6.5 out of 10 personally, maybe a 7 at most, but I'm feeling that 6.5. How did you feel about NXT tonight?
Hard agree on the 6.5 to 7 range. I think that's pretty much exactly where I would rank it as well. I will say there was, the sort of the 2 hour thing. Like, I feel like the second hour was much better than the first hour on this show. The first hour had some good stuff in it, no doubt, but I definitely enjoyed the second hour more, I think.
Right, yeah. Because I know the second hour had the breakout tournament and stuff like that, so it was definitely worthwhile stuff in the breakout tournament. Or in the second hour, I should say.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
with that said, let's get to our first segment, Heat of the Night. I really don't have anything, because anything I'd complain about, we've talked about to death. So I think I'm good for tonight. Do you have anything you want to air out?
I don't think so, no. I mean, yeah, actually, I will say I really, really fucking hate that Dominion of Dumbass and Caden beat Gigi and JC, and now JC and Jaden or JC and Gigi are going to end up at least trying to roll with Mandy Rose as their manager. This whole thing with Mandy Rose has just got me so anxious. Aardvark, I just don't want it. I just want her to go away.
Yeah, I mean, we figured it was going to happen.
I think
But,
I think you figured it was going to happen, and I acknowledged that it might, and just hoped that it wouldn't. And I was just in denial the whole time, and now it looks like it's confirmed as if it wasn't already.
yeah. Well, we'll have to see what they do with it. Can't really say that I blame you for hating it. But let's get into our NXT review.
Yeah.
We start with the $1 million celebration, Cameron Grimes and Ted DiBiase. Really not much to say here. Cameron, thanks Ted, says, when you first came, you drove me crazy. That's like on purpose. I was testing you. Cameron says he appreciates that test, and it means the world to be the $1 million champion. But where does Cameron Grimes go from here? Ted says, isn't it obvious, Cameron? We're going, and then they do the to the moon thing together.
Yep.
It rains Grime bucks, I guess, or Grimes bucks, whatever you want to call them. Just dollars with Grimes' face on them. And yeah, it was a nice little segment. You get a hot baby face in Grimes to open the show. That's cool. But you have anything you want to say about this?
No, sir. This was hopefully the last time we see Ted DiBiase in NXT. I want Grimes to get back to doing his own thing, and unfortunately, when we had kind of a big schmoz of dudes coming out to challenge for the world title later on in the night, Cameron wasn't a part of that, so I'm really concerned there.
No, but the guy he beat at Takeover was, so
Yeah,
that was a
of
bit
course, of
confusing.
course. Yeah,
I guess just to kind of tie these segments together, you know how we like to do that on these shows. Cameron does walk out with Ted later. I guess they had a long, night of partying, Sunday into Tuesday, so it's been
yep.
a long stretch. He tries to return $1 million championship to Ted, and Ted says, no, I want you to have it, but remember, there's only $1 million man. Cameron shakes the title, and he's like, oh, this feels a little different. Turns out to be a replica. And Ted laughs as he drives off, and Cameron's just like, that damn Teddy DiBiase. And, the leftist in me jumped out hard, not gonna lie. Like, you don't treat an old rich guy fucking over a working class guy as just some comedy shtick from the 90s. Oh, Ted. And studio audience laughter, fuck that. Fuck that.
Yeah.
We don't forget, Ted. We don't forget.
I mean,
But yeah,
fuck him.
exactly. That happened. I will say one of the things they are doing right on NXT that I really get excited about with each passing week, the way they are building Ridge Holland.
Yeah.
Really cool. So we got Thatcher versus Holland. Bro, what did you think about this match?
Uh, really interesting the way that they are building Holland. This match, I don't remember much from it, but I also do remember feeling like it went shorter than I expected it to, just because I feel like, Thatcher and Ciampa almost never get beat quickly. They've been beaten before, and especially Thatcher of all people. Like Thatcher, relative to Ciampa, Thatcher I feel like gets beat quickly. Not, I shouldn't say that. Thatcher is more likely to lose faster than Ciampa. So it made sense here, but I was still a little bit surprised by how quickly Ridge finished the match.
Yeah, dude, he's dominant.
Yeah.
And the scoop almost like brainbuster. I know Al Snow used to do that the snowplow.
Yeah.
As a finish, I think it's legit. That headbutt, the way they are building up that headbutt, because he hit it. God, I think he's been hitting it on everybody. He hit it on Thatcher tonight.
He hit it twice
He
tonight.
hit it on
Yeah.
Yeah. And didn't he even hit one on O'Reilly? Because didn't he attack O'Reilly? He did something to O'Reilly.
Was
During
that
that
to
big schmutz.
O'Reilly?
Because I know him and Duke Hudson, they had a
Yeah,
confrontation
that's
later on.
right. I think you are right. And then the other headbutt tonight was Joe headbutting Knight.
Yeah. So I loved your sentiments in the live wrestling discussion Discord. $3 a month, everybody, for those that want to join the TWitWoW Discord. I thank again the people that participated in that channel. You guys made NXT awesome.
Of course.
But you were kind of speculating that maybe Rich Holland will be the one to ultimately beat Joe, and maybe it'll be a battle of the headbutts, which I have a visceral reaction to the idea just because of the history of the headbutt.
Yeah.
But they're making Holland look really good with this one, I could totally buy it. So you gave your thoughts on the match. I'm more or less with you. I did like that Thatcher got to show his competency on the mat and in grappling. I liked some moments too where it was very clear he wanted to get a submission, but Holland is just so strong that it really felt like Thatcher had to work for every bit of offense, and I love that. I love that it never really came easy to Thatcher, and I think Holland's going to be a force. I would honestly be amazed because Joe is 42, and we've talked about his age and stuff like that. I don't expect Joe to be champion for long. I'd be surprised if 2021 ends and Holland is an NXT champion, because it really does just seem like they're going to have him cut through the roster like butter.
Yep.
So I don't know. That's going to be on NXT. But yeah, after that, what did we get after that? We got Carmelo Hayes being interviewed. I mean, the dude just oozes a natural charisma and swagger. It's a big opportunity for him. He can't lose it. And I noticed, like, going into this match, he did have a tournament trajectory where he seemed to beat the quote-unquote giants of the tournament. Because I think he even beat Gacy in round one. I don't know what Gacy's NXT name is. I forgot it. And,
he's still Joe Gacy there.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, Gacy and then Hudson and then, Odyssey Jones here in the finals, and we'll get to that later. So, yeah, they seem to almost very clearly telegraph, like,
he beat Briggs in round one, not Gacy.
Oh, I think the sentiment still stands.
The sentiment absolutely still, like literally the three dudes that he had to beat to win the tournament were Josh Briggs, who's like 6'8", 300 pounds, Duke Hudson, who's like 6'5", 270, and then Odyssey Jones, who's like 400 pounds, even though he's not as tall, but like that's still huge.
Jesus, I mean, Carmelo Hayes, the giant killer.
Yeah.
So
he went from tall, thick dude that's not necessarily in the best of shape to tall, bulky dude who's absolutely fucking shredded to not so tall, massive son of a bitch that could give Mark Henry a run for his money.
Yes. Absolutely, yes.
Although I will say, I don't know how tall Odyssey Jones is. I'm guessing he's like 6 foot tall, maybe 6'1". Mark Henry's like 6'4". He's like deceptively tall. It's weird.
Yeah. So after this, we get an Index promo. This more or less furthers the whole wedding angle that they're planning on doing. Yeah, dude, it just works. I like this, and I can't believe I've liked it for this long, but I think you got all the right pieces doing this. The wedding is September 14th.
Literally 3 weeks away.
I know, dude. That's fucking wild to me.
Yep.
But Yeah,
Apparently, that's
that's
like the next live episode of NXT or something.
you know what that would make sense then. There
Yeah.
you go. So yeah, after this, we get Gigi Dolan and JC Jane versus
Yep.
Caden and Casey.
Oh man, the thing is, we kind of talked in the Discord about Gigi and the whole situation with Darby, and like setting all of that aside, I am a big fan of Gigi Dolan as a performer. I think she's a fucking prodigy. She's been really, really good in the ring since she's like 20 or 21 years old. I I root for her almost instinctively because I've been rooting for her for so long. It's hard to drill that out of someone. And I don't know if I am going to stop rooting for her, even despite the outside of the ring stuff. But at the end of the day, this, like, I think among the women, Raquel is my least favorite act, but Casey and Kaden are not far behind.
No, like God, man, I want to like Caden because like she just seemed kind of wrapped up in.
I want to like her too, but it's not easy when she's in this pairing and she kind of has the attitude that she does, and it's like, it just doesn't work for me. I'm just not a fan of the whole act.
I will say, just separately, I'm with you on Gigi. I even gave my own sentiments about that in the live wrestling discussion Discord. I don't think, at least on her end, we don't know everything, so I'm not going to make a presumptive judgment, just because the things that I've seen in my life. And I think just looking at the wrestling, she's such a talented performer.
Yeah.
I still see a lot in her. And look, again, I don't like the Casey and Caden one. I don't like that EO is tag champions with somebody and they're doing a awful fucking friend angle. I hate to say it because there are just so many people I literally just don't like as people in WWE. So it's weird to give anybody credit like when you think about the outside context. But Riddle and Orton are doing it so much better. Like that
Yeah.
is this kind of storyline done right to me.
Dude, it's so
And
weird that that's like, now that you point it out, it's so weird to me that the Zoe Stark Io Shirai storyline and the RK Bro storyline are both kind of running parallel to each other when they're so similar in that way. Like, I think RK Bro was definitely done better because they didn't become tag team champions until after they became friends. So in that way, it is a different story. But I don't like that Io and Zoe became tag team champions at all. If you wanted to do this stuff, it would have legitimately made more sense to do all of these, like Zoe wants to be Io's friend because they can't get over the hump until they have actual good tag team chemistry and stuff. Like, God, they're making me actively dislike Zoe Stark. And for the longest time, I just passively didn't like the way that she was being booked, but I wanted to see her succeed. I'm stopping that. It's getting to the point that they're driving me to not want to see her succeed anymore because if she succeeds standing beside Io, I feel like it's dragging Io down. She is the David Finlay to Io's Juice Robinson.
oh God, truer words have never been spoken. So yeah, that's happening. And Casey and Caden, they get up in the commentators' faces and they're like, those titles are ours. We want our title shot. Good. I hope they get it, and I hope they get destroyed. I mean, I hate it
Mm-hmm.
regardless, but I want their dreams to be shattered. I really do. Like I'm feeling the sadist in me slowly be revived when I look at all the shit in pro wrestling right now. So after that, we get a KOR vignette. I legitimately, unironically wish I cared. Maybe she'll get me to care now that she's on NXT regularly. I don't know.
I'm sorry, I missed who you meant. Whose vignette was this?
Kaylee Ray. I just abbreviated it
Oh,
KLR, but
dude.
Kaylee Ray.
Oh
Yeah.
my. We'll talk about her later. She is. I feel like of all the possible people that NXT could have introduced to be like, this is the next big challenger to Raquel's title, and you never know, she might actually be able to beat her. Kaylee Ray is not it.
Yeah, I don't buy it personally.
I've never gotten it with Kaylee Ray. Like, she's like a session moth to me. It's like, okay, I see what you're doing, but I'm not entertained by it. But for some reason, everyone else seems to love you. What the fuck am I missing here?
Yeah, I'm so far I'm in the same boat as you, but then again, like neither one of us really watches NXT UK, so now that we'll probably be seeing her more regularly, maybe I will get it. I don't
You're
fucking know.
right that we don't watch NXT UK, but we did watch the Mae Young Classic, and we have seen Kaylee Ray wrestle a few times before. And even in my case, I've seen her wrestle in Stardom before, and at no point did I ever think like, "Damn, she's really good. I get it now why people like her so much." Never has that happened with me with her.
Yeah, yeah. It just we knew she was going to come here eventually when she dropped the NXT UK Women's Championship to Mako, but
Yeah.
we'll have to see how it goes.
Yep.
Odyssey Jones. Odyssey Jones gets interviewed,
He's
just like Carmelo Hayes
so
did earlier.
entertaining.
He's got such a natural likability,
He's
man. Like
bubbly.
the funny thing is, like I know we keep making the Mark Henry comparisons, and we know that Mark Henry really like finally put it all together with Hall of Pain. I'm wondering if a guy this
After
nice
18 years.
exactly. I'm wondering if a guy this nice has a compelling heel within him. But I even think, he could be a pretty solid babyface. Because, again, I like him. And he says, this is
I
the biggest match of his career.
guarantee you he'd be an amazing heel if he wanted to be.
Yeah. Honestly, it's funny because, like, we keep mentioning again the Mark Henry parallels, and we know he's in AEW now, but I wish he would have stuck around to really develop this guy or help him kind of find his voice. Because, they do have the similar look and everything with the size and everything else, and Mark could really teach him how to perfect being that power wrestler. But I'm sure he'll figure it out, and the more matches he has, the more he'll find that voice, and I'm very curious to see what it'll be. After that, we get Kaylee Ray versus Valentina Feroz, and
I was rooting for Valentina.
I liked her her entrance attire, the headdress and everything she had going on. I
Yeah,
thought
it
it
was really cool.
Kaylee Ray ultimately wins the match with a nice looking gory bomb. Admittedly, I thought it was clean. No complaints there. Then we get to Samoa Joe, NXT Championship over his shoulder. Now a lot happened here. So Ashton, what did you think about this?
Oh, this honestly, in my opinion, now I know not everyone's going to agree with me, but in my opinion, this segment was garbage until Kyle O'Reilly showed up. He saved it kind of, and then it went back to being mediocre. So Joe did nothing for me on the mic. I know he's a great talker. I know he's a great promo, but he just didn't do anything to get a rise out of me in this promo in particular. And then fucking Pete Dunne, man. I'm so goddamn tired of Pete Dunne. I don't even know what to do with this guy, honestly, because he's not charismatic or entertaining enough to be on the main roster, but he's obviously too big of a deal to go back to NXT UK. So he's just stuck here. It feels like I just don't know where else he can go because I don't want him on my fucking TV anymore. He's boring as shit, and he has this obnoxious amount of confidence that I feel like it's completely unearned. And he's like, "Oh, you're not the baddest man in the room. I am." And it's like, "Oh my god, we get the gimmick. You don't have to keep jamming it down our throats." And then fucking LA Knight comes out. Oh my god. Dude, this dude literally lost on Sunday. He fucking lost. And I guess you could justify it with, "Oh, well, he only lost because Kyle or because Cameron had help." It's like, okay, true, but he still fucking lost, and he thinks that he's gonna lose his way to the NXT Championship. I don't like that. I don't like him, which makes me like that even less. And then Kyle comes out, and we get almost goofy, borderline PWG silly Kyle, and I think he called him Samoa Joey and fucking Peter Dune, of course. And then his new name for LA Knight is just Law Knight, which I love. I happily will call him Law Knight for the rest of his fucking career, as long as he keeps that name. But yeah, Kyle, I like how he comes out and he says, "I'm not here to talk myself into a title shot. I earned my title shot," because he really did. Beating Adam Cole is a big fucking deal. And not only did he beat Adam Cole once on Sunday, but this is now the second time that he's beaten Adam Cole on takeovers, out of 3 matches. So huge win for Kyle on Sunday should absolutely catapult him into a world title shot. Did we ever get any actual development as far as how it would be treated, as far as how they're going to name a contender here?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Yeah, I didn't think so. It's they just talk their shit, and then fucking Ridge Holland comes out and goes after Kyle, and then he and Pete Dunne double team Kyle. Or no, I think at one point Dunn looked like he was gonna go after Joe, and then Joe like turned around and saw him. He was like, "Come on, man, bring it!" And Dunn backed out. And then LA Knight goes after Joe, and he gets fucking headbutted, and that was the whole thing.
Yeah, I gotta be truthful. I didn't care for anybody's promos except Joe. So to kind of run through it, I mean, Pete Dunne, and you know that I've been kind of defending Pete Dunne a little bit, because I know how you feel about him and everything, but I gotta be honest. Relative to Joe, because see, the thing about Samoa Joe, and we
Dude,
could say that like sometimes he yells a bit in his promos or whatever, and
yeah,
that's
a little
true,
bit.
but like he looks legit. Like he never has
Yeah.
to tell you he's gonna beat your ass because you look at him and you just know it.
Do you know what Pete
Pete
Dunne
Dunne,
makes me think of?
what's that?
He makes me think of a dude that doesn't want to be a sports entertainer. Like he's literally just here to do the in-ring part. Like almost like fucking first WWE one Brock Lesnar, where like he hated the actual job of being a WWE superstar. He hated the touring. He didn't want to talk. He didn't cut promos, or he didn't like cutting promos. He just wanted to do the wrestling part. That's what Dunn reminds me of. But like compare him with Brock Lesnar, and obviously he hasn't fucking earned it. So like get over yourself and put some goddamn effort into your fucking promos, kid. Jesus Christ.
And I mean, here's my thing that I was gearing up to say is like when you're talking to a guy like Joe in character, it comes off as such bush league schoolyard bully shit.
Yep.
Like it really like. And again, I've defended Dunn because I felt like in other contexts, it's like, well, yeah, he's going out there and he's doing whatever. But you step up to Samoa fucking Joe and you're saying, like, you're not the baddest man here. And, like, dude, you're projecting so hard. Like, you say that, and then I'm thinking, well, who are you really trying to convince of that? That's my immediate thought.
See,
LA
and
Knight,
I have a very different reaction. To me, it's like this dude's really coming out here and reciting his lines like it's a fucking high school play. Like he's doing nothing to sell the actual threat that's presented to him in Samoa Joe. Like realistically, this dude's coming out here and just saying these lines to get it over with so that he can say that he said them, so that he can say that he did his job. He's like, oh, I'm the baddest man. It's like there's no feeling behind his words. There's no passion behind his words. He's just saying this shit to get it done and over with so we can move on to the next thing because this isn't the part that interests him about the job. That's what it comes off like to me.
yeah, and LA Knight, enough fucking said.
Oh my
This
god.
dude's such a goddamn tryhard.
He's such a
But then,
fucking
like,
hack.
I gotta be honest, I really didn't like Kyle either.
That's
Kyle to
understandable. I
me
think
was
with
kind of
Kyle, it's
cringe.
very much about your sense of humor. If you are a big fan of like the goofy, silly, punny type sense of humor that Kyle brings to the table, you're gonna like it. That's how I am. If you're not, you're probably not gonna like it. And if you don't like it, you're probably gonna think it's cringe as hell.
And see, the funny thing is, I stand by what I said. Like, I haven't waned in my initial sentiments that I know that Kyle O'Reilly is a good promo.
Yeah.
I just,
When he's serious
I
though,
just
when
haven't.
he's like passionate, right?
Yeah, when he's a passionate, serious
Yeah.
promo, oh my god.
Oh yeah,
It's,
totally. And I
it's
agree
the
with you on
laid-back,
that
jokey
too.
stuff. It's like,
Yeah. And
yeah.
that's like very your mileage may vary, like it depends on your taste and your humor, I think.
I will say though, to kind of complete this, so we can move on to the next segment. I do agree with your overall assessment that, like, out of everybody that came out, Kyle very definitively is number one contender.
Yes.
Like, I'm even surprised we're making an issue of it because here's the thing.
Well,
Pete Dunne can say what he wants, but like Rich Holland's looking more like a contender in that faction than he is to me.
dude.
And LA Knight, like you said, lost on Sunday. So
Yeah. Do you know what the worst fucking thing is though, dude? Is I wouldn't be surprised one bit if we ended up getting LA Knight versus Pete Dunne for contendership because Kyle gets preoccupied with Duke Hudson now.
yeah, Duke Hudson and maybe even Rich Holland because he
Yeah.
was a part of that attack.
So it's like they're gonna
So-
throw all these obstacles in Kyle's way, and he's gonna be the last one of these three dudes to actually get his title shot. Now, granted, maybe because he will be the last one to get his title shot, maybe that'll give him more, higher odds at actually winning the title than whoever the first two guys are in whatever order that ends up being. But at the end of the day, he very clearly deserves it the most right now, and they're just going out of their way to try and speed bump him from getting to the title where he should be.
Oh yeah, dude, for sure. I fully expect if they're doing this at the next takeover or maybe an NXT special or what the fuck ever, I'm fully expecting Dunn Joe because they've been teasing that for a while with the stare downs and everything, even before Joe got cleared. So yeah, I'm fully expecting that to be Joe's first title defense. In the ring, I'm sure it'll be solid, but again, like you, Dunn needs a shake up in his fucking character, man, because like this
Dude,
shtick
at this
quickly runs
point,
out.
like, yeah, Dunn needs something different. Period. Like, I don't know if he needs a shake up in his character or a shake up in his employment. Honestly, like, I genuinely have to wonder if he even wants to be here with the minuscule amount of passion that he puts into his fucking promos.
Dude, it's a shame that COVID kind of shaked it up because like this Pete Dunne right now with him still being like young-ish but not really wanting to do the character and entertainment aspect. Go to PWG for a little bit and get it all out of your fucking system until you're really ready to try, if that ever comes to you. I feel like he's perfect for the PWG style. They
the
rarely
thing is,
talk.
PWG
like,
doesn't pay it doesn't. You're not gonna make a living off of PWG only.
No, and that's the thing. Like he is making a steady income, and this is a job first and foremost.
I'm starting to feel like that's maybe the problem is that it's become nothing but a job for him. That he's lost his passion.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see. I'm guessing he's not going to change at all, so we're just gonna have to grin and bear it.
If he's not going to change it all, though, NXT should change the way they book him.
Yeah, they should, but I don't know if they'll do that either. So we're kind of stuck in my mind. But we talked about Grimes and fucking DiBiase. Eat the rich, everyone. Then we get Carmelo Hayes versus Odyssey Jones. Ashton, what did you think about how this finals match was done?
It was, Look, I'm not here to talk about the match itself. I'm here to talk about like the story and what's going forward. And like Odyssey Jones, I fucking love. I think he's great. I want to see more of him, and I really do hope that they don't like hide him from us for the next few months because he didn't win this tournament. I even was talking with I think it was Alex Foster in the Discord about how like it would be actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, I wanted to say this, but I never did because I had second thoughts about it. So here is a thought straight from my mind that I didn't put in the Discord. It would be really interesting to me if these guys who were in the finals teamed up and went after the tag titles. I don't know. It's a weird thought, but you never know. It could be cool.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I would be for that. I mean, I enjoy.
Do I have any thoughts on the match itself, though? Absolutely not. I have no thoughts on the match whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for Carmelo Hayes that he won this. You know, he says when he shoots, he doesn't miss. You know, in kind of his victory promo when he got the title shot contract.
I like that as a catchphrase for him.
Yeah, dude, that's the thing. Like this guy, he doesn't repeat himself, but already he's been quotable because he said like, "I am the final boss." You know,
yeah, that was a great. Yeah, damn, he's really good at this, isn't he?
So yeah, he's like the anti-Dunn because we just got done doing this whole thing with Peter Dune about how he doesn't really care about the entertainment aspect.
Yeah,
and yet Carmelo Hayes seems far more well-rounded than Pete Dunne. In that regard.
Yeah.
So
Hayes, dude, I'm glad you reminded me of that line because that was a great freaking line. Was that I don't think it was last week, but it was a couple weeks ago. But it was after the last match he had. Yeah, that's such a good line. And then like tonight, like you mentioned the line about when I shoot I don't miss. Like that's so good too. Because like he called a shot and he nailed it. Like that if they keep giving him reasons to be cocky, I want him to keep being cocky. And not cocky in like an obnoxious, arrogant, like I'm the cock of the walk, you can't touch me kind of way. But just like I know what I'm good at, I know my value, and I pay it off kind of way,
Absolutely. So Hayes wins the tournament. Congratulations to Carmelo Hayes. Honestly, I'm curious if he'll successfully convert his title shot because I definitely think they want to do something with him. Already he's getting another opportunity at gold when it wasn't that long ago. I feel like that he challenged Kushida, so we'll have to see. I titled this in my notes for the brand sans Chad. God, Pat McAfee breathes life into everything.
Yeah, he does.
Because it's these fucking schmucks. Because one thing I forgot, and I'm sorry if there have been gaps in my my presentation, guys, but in the Thatcher versus Holland match, fucking Danny Burch is back, and nobody fucking cared. I really like. I was like, oh,
Oh, I
okay,
care. I care in the sense that I want him gone again.
yeah. They're talking. They're all well. Some of them just looking phallic and
They
ugly,
put
looking
everyone
evil.
on notice.
God damn it, Jesus Christ. Holland calls out Ciampa. Holland is the one I'm interested most in this group. And
Yeah.
then behind
Oh
him,
my
Oney
god.
Lorcan, but he's already back in this fucking tag team.
But dude,
Like,
you know what though? Lorcan, I feel like is such a distant second here. Like it's,
yeah,
if we're grading our level of interest on a scale of 1 to 10, for me, Holland is at like an 8.5 out of 10 interest for me. Lorcan's at like a 4, and nobody else is ahead of him. So that's like how big the gap is.
yeah. Foster asking John, ask yourself, is Birch worth remembering? Given that Birch isn't your face, Foster,
Birch
no,
is.
no,
I
he's
think
not.
Birch has just dug a hole and found himself in the negatives on the scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah, on the scale of 1 to Foster, I mean, he doesn't even make the
He
scale,
doesn't
Foster. By the
register.
way, you should know that. You should know that I updated the scale for the max to be your existence. You did the same for me, and I was so touched. You make me a better person. Anyway, that aside, we can move on here to Tion. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Dude,
Boa
this
pretty much saying,
this
like, they will
I
fall.
forgot about this. I should have made this my heat of the night. This is heat of the night worthy to me.
Yeah, dude. Didn't I even say, like, when it took him so long to beat Drake Maverick, like, the only interesting person now is Mei Ying? Like, that's what
Yes.
this should be about. And
Yes.
congratulations, friend. I'm doubling the fuck down.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, she's the only thing compelling now about
Yeah.
this. Fuck everything about this.
Dude, not
Jesus
only did it
Christ.
take him that long to beat Drake Maverick, but then he comes back this week and actually loses to a dude we've never even seen before.
I've never seen this dude before tonight.
Yeah. And here's the thing. This dude, Zion Quinn, is a genuinely intriguing prospect. I've got no hate towards this guy, nothing but kind words to say about him. I wish him the best. I think he's got all the potential in the world. He is a former rugby player. He's a 31-year-old Australian Samoan who is just a fucking beast and like not fully, but like borderline Goldberg vibes tonight in a good way, in like a mystique presence kind of way. Like the idea that he comes in, he beats someone that's like an established name night one in like a shock victory. I wouldn't be surprised one bit if they started him off with a nice winning streak in a Goldberg-like fashion. I don't think he's going to win like Goldberg. Like I don't think he's going to be like those dominant 3-move 30-second victories the way Goldberg did. But I think that they could really build up some mystique around this guy and maybe even have him like win his way to like some kind of championship run before he even loses a match.
Yeah. Now, dude, you know that I was dealing with some streaming complications during this portion of NXT, the later part of the
Wait,
second
are you
hour.
getting ready to move on already?
No,
Okay.
I'm not. I was getting ready to just say that, like, I saw a little bit of this, but
Okay.
I'd almost like to go back and rewatch it to focus more on Quinn.
Yeah.
Just because I really didn't get to appreciate it. But yeah, Boa losing, Xia Lee's out. I would just shoot a vignette or something where Mei Ying, like, maybe she speaks for the first time or something. I don't freaking know. Maybe they're able to show through symbolism. Like, get out of the way. I'm handling business now. Because if you want to talk about the short list of people that can beat Raquel for the title, Mei Ying as a character absolutely can.
Yep.
Absolutely can. And
Totally
she's the
agree with
last
you.
one. I'm telling you, if anybody beats her, especially if somebody like low level, like a fucking Casey or whatever would beat her, then just throw the whole goddamn thing away. You ruined it. I feel like they already ruined it, but
Yeah.
they could salvage her here.
I mean, dude,
With
it's funny
Boa-
you say if Casey beats her because you're mentioning like contenders for the women's championship, and of course, immediately my mind goes to Frankie, who did lose to Casey in a tag match.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah.
So I will just say this too, as more of a meta commentary. I always want people to succeed, especially people that like transplant their whole lives to a different country. I don't know if it's gonna work for Boa because it took us so long to even see him in the ring, and now it seems like they've already given up on him with the booking.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna dunk. This isn't about that, right? It sucks. And then Triple H told a story like a while back. It might have even been like a month ago about Xia, where her parents, like, she felt like her parents were gonna disown her if she tried pursuing being a wrestler. So maybe they feel a bit, I don't want to say obligated, Maybe they feel like, oh, we really want to like make it work with her because she's already sacrificed so much. But if it doesn't work out with these two, that is kind of heartbreaking because
Yeah.
just making a transition alone is a huge thing. But then making a transition to a culture, at least as it relates to Zaya, I have no idea about Boa's circumstances, to a culture that could be hostile to that decision, that's doubly heartbreaking. So I really wanted this to work. I really did. I think you guys have heard me multiple times defend Zaya when I felt like, oh, she's still green, but she'll get it or whatever. Boa, I don't know what the fuck is going on there. So it's all down to you, Mei Ying. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, as far as Zion Quinn goes, that like
Yes.
I don't know, man. I just see a lot in him. I think there's a lot of potential there. I love the flying forearm. I even liked the way that he like started up the ramp, saw Mei Ying, and said, "Nope, fuck that," and decided to just bounce over the barricade. I loved that.
Yeah. Telling you, man, these fucking performers showing intelligence, like in kayfabe.
I also wanted to
So
have
nice.
just even a brief conversation with you. Do you feel like Zion Quinn might be the first sort of pet project of the quote unquote new NXT era?
Wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me. I could see
That's
the
kind of the vibe
the
I got
revamp.
because he's like this big
Yeah.
tatted up, beastly looking dude with a background in sports, in real sports, fucking rugby. It's like that seems to fit the exact bill of the type of people that WWE is going to start going after now. So it's really fitting that he would debut on the show that is, being dubbed like the beginning of the new era, basically.
Yeah. I
I
could
feel
see the
like
brand
between
really.
I feel like between him
No,
and
you.
Ridge Holland, like those are the two big ones.
Yeah, I was gonna say him, Rich Holland, maybe even Duke Hudson with the revamp. Like I feel
No,
like these are all guys that have the
Duke
look
Hudson is a
that.
wrestler through and through, right down to the fucking bones. Like he's always been a wrestler as far as I know.
I mean, but I just feel like he does
You
have a
just
good
mean
look
size
though.
wise, right? I gotcha.
Yeah, size wise,
I
look
think, well, I
wise,
mean,
yeah.
to be fair, I think the whole breakout tournament was kind of a little bit representative of that because you also had Josh Briggs, Odyssey Jones. You had bigger guys. I think we talked about it, and there were like 5 or 6 dudes in the breakout tournament that were either really tall or really big, or both. In the case of fucking Briggs.
Yeah, that's why I think I was a bit surprised in a way that Carmelo Hayes won because it seemed like internally, at least from what rumors and reports indicated, there was a feeling of wanting to go back
Dude.
to just pushing those big guys and everything.
Yeah, I wonder though if it's like they're gonna start looking for big or young, even if they would ideally like both. Like if they can't get a big dude, at the very least they're not gonna keep bringing in older, smaller guys. Like they want you to either be really big so that you can be like that attraction type, or really young so that they can mold you in their sort of vision of what they think you should be. Or obviously, like I said, ideally both because that would be perfect for them.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think isn't Carmelo Hayes like 25 or 26?
yeah. I think he's incredibly young. That sounds about right to
27.
me.
He's 27. Still, I mean, we're talking about Zion Quinn, who's like a bigger guy. He's 31. I would still call that relatively young. I don't know how long he's been in the system though. Because like I said, he's brand new to wrestling. He's literally a WWE original, which again is like a big win if you're Vince McMahon. When did he get there? 2018. He's been there for almost 3 years now, and he just debuted on TV tonight. So that I guess that goes to show you how long they really kind of leave these guys cooking before they finally think they're ready to go.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's why I'm excited about the revamp because I'm really curious what it's going to look like, production wise, and what exactly they're going to do. But Zion Quinn, I think, could be a big part of it. I have to go back and rewatch this because I'd like to take a closer look at the dude. But in the meantime, we get Gargano talking with Regal, more or less wanting him to cancel Index's wedding.
This
Regal doesn't
segment was comedy gold.
Johnny Gargano is just—he's in a groove right now, man. He's in his fucking pocket right now, and it's great. LA Knight interrupts, talking about, did you see what Samoa Joe did to me out there? I want Joe, you gotta give me Joe. And Gargano's like, he didn't even knock, and like they start arguing. I guess Johnny's like, I was here first, and so Regal just shoos them both out of his office, and they're just continuing to argue amongst themselves. Like, oh, you made him mad. No, I didn't. You did. And then Regal's more or less like, oh, just buffoons and stuff like that. He's just tired of them both.
I love that
I guess he
Regal
missed.
actively said "cuckoo bananas,"
Yes.
and they got into an
God.
argument because Johnny was like, "It's bananas, Regal, bananas, bananas."
Perfection.
That's. I want to
After
honestly
that,
go back and rewatch that segment. It was that funny. So anyway, yes, I think we're on to our main event, right?
yes, we are the
Woo!
6-man tag. I've got quite a bit to say about this, but I want you to go first.
I mean, come on, man, dude. First of all, I don't want to talk too much about Top Dollar because I know that's probably who you want to talk about most. And I'll just say he's great. He's a star. The fucking 3-man spot that he did was amazing. I'll let you talk about it more. I actually do want to praise LDF though, specifically the tag team Mendoza and Wild. Holy fuck, these dudes are incredible. And actually, before I even praise them in the ring, entrance attires for LDF tonight were incredible. Legitimately, like, main event of a WrestleMania worthy entrance attires, in my opinion. Absolutely incredible. I think Raul had like an eagle, and Wild had like a tiger or some other kind of a big cat theme, and of course Santos had your traditional lucha stuff going on. It was brilliant. He looked incredible. All three of them did. And then in the ring, Santos is so fucking smart, and the other two guys have such good chemistry with each other and are so entertaining. I This match kind of made me understand a little bit where Full Sail's coming from, not necessarily knowing who the faces and who the heels are, because all 6 of these guys could and probably should be baby faces because they're all that fucking good at what they do.
This was just a fantastic 6-man competition. I got, because, Stardom's just really made me love how they do tag matches. This had a low-key kind of a similar energy to me. I was really vibing with this hard from bell to bell. Wild and Mendoza, I want to go out of my way to praise like those two. I even said on the live wrestling discussion channel, I want these guys to be NXT tag champions someday.
They're awesome.
Don't even know if that'll happen or not. That's up to NXT.
Oh, it won't.
Top Dollar, not Nada. That's who's competing with him. This dude is a fucking star. I say it every time. I'm going to keep saying it. Dude's a fucking star. The way he moves, the way he uses his power, he's got a personality. Like, oh my God. Every box. And he is 31, so he is a bit on the older side to be coming in. But I think he's still got enough quality years that if you wanted to Batista that shit, you could totally pull it off to me. But of course, the biggest praise has to go to Santos and maybe even LDF as a unit for using their fucking minds.
Yes.
Everything starts falling apart at the end, and then BVAB comes in, and I'm going to be honest, I got a little annoyed by this until the response.
Yes.
Because she shoves Santos into the ring, and I'm like, come on, really, again?
Did you have a thought of like, of course she did that?
Yeah, really, I did. Like, nothing against BFAB because I love Hit Row, but I'm like, of course she did. They should have seen it coming. What the fuck kind of thing. But then we get to the response, and like, holy fucking shit. So her name's Elektra Lopez, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have that right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I was just waiting for your confirmation there. And yeah, she is standing behind BFAB, and BFAB's like, who even are you? What are you going to do? And she produces a pipe and hits BFAB in the midsection. I mark the fuck out. Because, dude, we had a long discussion last week, and I know I, in particular, emphasized how I wonder if LDF was going to add a woman to the group because BFAB keeps getting involved, but I know WWE doesn't do, like, the intergender violence, and I just think it would be smart by LDF. This makes me love LDF even more now. We have said for years, we want either babyfaces or heels, particularly babyfaces, admittedly, they have more of a problem with this, to be more intelligent and to know that the heels, at least who I see as the definitive heels in this dynamic, be like, okay, you know what, BFAB, we've had enough of your shit. here's somebody for you to play with. And Elektra Lopez just lays her out. Swerve has no idea like what's freaking happening because Elektra Lopez, she hands him the pipe. She throws the pipe to him. He catches it instinctively. Ref's like, oh, did you use that? He's like, no, it wasn't me. Santos rolls up Swerve, has a handful of tights. He pins the North American champion in this tag match. I love this. I absolutely love this. What a intelligent,
Dude,
natural progression of this story.
we keep feeling like NXT is trying to get the point across that LDF are the heels and Hit Row are the faces. And we've been saying this consistently since this feud started, I feel like. Tonight, it felt like the exact opposite. Like it feels like NXT flipped a switch and they were just like, you know what? It's not working. We need to do this the other way around. We need to keep Hit Row heel. We need to push LDF as the faces because first of all, Swerve hit a 450 splash on Santos that Santos kicked out of. That's some babyface shit right there. Kicking out of a big move like that, that's like, oh my God, he's so tough. He's so resilient. He doesn't give up. That's huge. And then BFAB instigates immediately, like you're getting heel vibes because BFAB is like the only person of either faction not actually in the match, and she is the one that attempts, well, not even attempts. She's the one that interferes first. She's the one that intervenes and slams Santos into the ring post. She basically cheats first. And then it's like LDF had this backup plan, and it's like, oh my God, LDF are just fucking smart. That's not heelish. That's face. That's like, oh my God, these guys are brilliant. They had a backup plan. They figured BFAB might decide to intervene, and they had a plan for it. I feel like they just flipped the switch tonight. It's so weird.
It is because clearly they were responding to BFAB's interference.
Yeah.
And
well, because I feel like every time BFAB's gotten involved, it's gotten Hit Row the upper hand in a very major way, and it would have tonight if it wasn't for the response.
Yeah. So that is the one pickiest of nits because I just love everything happening here from an in-ring and the talent involved and just everything. But the one pickiest of nits is like you do a story like this. And the line's very, maybe in NXT's mind, they've been clearly defined, but you can see how long we've been kind of generally well, who's the face and who's the heel? So, I don't know. I think that's always going to be a bit of a trip up here for this story, but I love that it has a logical progression with Elektra Lopez. Did her name come up when we were speculating who might be the woman to join LDF?
No, it did not. Well, dude, we've literally only seen her one time. She lost in Frankie Monet's debut, and that's it.
Okay, honestly, I didn't even remember that. So good for her, I guess. What that is one thing that I hope even the new NXT maintains, that you could be a jobber one week and then you can just step right into a storyline like this. That is one thing that even the later NXT that was so indie emphasized.
Yeah.
And that's not to say Indy Hartwell. I look forward to that era. But I do like that you can job one week, and if you bide your time and if you're patient, you could be a part of a storyline like this. So I hope she makes the most of it because I love.
Well, dude, isn't that
cool
basically what happened with Leon Ruff and even to a degree Ashante the Adonis?
Exactly. Yeah.
Those are guys that were brought in as jobbers and got their time to shine. I kind of appreciate that. That's really cool.
Absolutely, I'm right there with you, man. I love that. So I'm excited for Elektra Lopez. I love the coolness that she emanated. Just striking with the pipe, throwing it, and then just adjusting the jacket slightly. My job's done. Odds have been evened. So
who I hope the next sort of half, midway to a jobber kind of performer gets a bit of a push.
Who's that?
Zeta Ramir.
Yeah, and I would expect it. I would absolutely expect it. So that was NXT. So next segment, high spots and low shots. My low shot tonight, you know what? Let me think. I'm going to say my low shot to Odyssey Jones because it's not even that he lost a match. It's more in the context of how he lost. He got a big splash. He did kind of a lackadaisical cover thinking like, oh, I'm big and strong. He got his leverage reversed on him. And 3 seconds later, he's out of a title shot. So Odyssey Jones is my low shot.
Yeah, nice. My low shot's Kyle O'Reilly because he's literally the only person that really feels like he deserves a world title shot. And between the two other nincompoops trying to cut in line and get the title shot for themselves, and the big son of a bitch that he slapped and ended up getting his head slammed into the locker about 6 times. I think that there are enough obstacles in Kyle's way that he might not get an opportunity at that NXT title for a lot longer than he hopes.
Yeah, yeah, it was a rough night for Kyle. High spot for me. You know what? I'm gonna say specifically Santos Escobar, because like he's very clearly the leader of LDF, which means in
Yeah, I was
kayfabe
even
I
going to
can make the
say
edge.
honorable low shot goes to Hit Row, just because they
Yeah,
seemed like they had all the momentum on their side and they were being consistently portrayed as the baby faces. And now tonight, all that went down the drain because now it's like they come off more as the heels, and they lost a match that they pretty much felt like they had in the bag because they had that plan with BFAB interfering. Didn't work out for them. And now they've lost their advantage because BFAB has been their biggest advantage so far, and she's been neutralized. So, yeah, like the really strong contender for low shot there in Hit Row. But I just can't bring myself to actually give it to him because I love him too much. So, gonna stick with my original pick. But yeah, your high spot was Santos, and I love that.
yeah, it's Santos because I can make the educated inference, in kayfabe that because he is the leader of LDF, he went out and he recruited Electra Lopez.
Yep.
So smart there, neutralized BFAB, and he pinned the North American champion.
Yep.
So definite title shot coming. You'll love to see it. Who's your high spot?
My high spot is gonna actually be pretty simple here. Zion Quinn, dude shows up first time ever on NXT and picks up a win against a dude that was supposed to have had the ability to feel pain beaten out of him.
Yeah, yeah, damn.
Right? Like that was the whole
Yeah,
gimmick, right? Like we saw all those vignettes of Boa getting the shit beat out of him and getting kendo sticks to the chest and back and like getting the pain basically beaten out of him. And now it takes him how long to beat Drake Maverick, and he shows up against this brand new dude, Zion Quinn, and he gets knocked the fuck out. I guess they should have worked more on his brain's resilience because apparently that's the one part that they just didn't think about because he got knocked unconscious and got pinned.
yeah, yeah. So Zion Quinn,
Yep.
NXT built it up as an upset, and if NXT built it up as that, that's what matters. So I really have to wonder what the future holds for him.
Boa
And
is
nice
actually
discussion
another
about that,
really
right?
good contender for low shot tonight.
Oh my God, yeah. What a Jesus Christ, Tian Shaw. So that was it. That's NXT. So yeah, that nothing else to say there. It has been NXT. It has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John. That's my core and commentary Ashton. Guys, be sure to like the video as you file out. The more likes you leave, the more likely we are to the top search result for NXT reviews on YouTube. When you're the best at what you do, the top is the only place that you belong. So please leave that like. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon so you never get missed any of that TWitWoW goodness. Check out the TWitWoW Patreon. You can see everything we offer to our patrons. Two things I always like to plug. Additional Q&A questions. Q&A is this Thursday, guys. Holy shit. So that would be the 26th, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I can't believe it's here already. What the fuck happened to August? But if you don't donate to the Patreon, you only get 3 Q&A questions. But if you donate, you can have a total of up to 5 questions. So I would donate. And if you want just the premium deal, $3, you get access to the TWitWoW Discord, which we've been kind of talking about throughout the review, and you get the additional Q&A questions. And we even have a Q&A channel in our Discord, so you can submit your questions right there. Nice and easy. Beyond that, follow us both on Twitter. I'm at John_TWitWoW. My pinned tweet is to, again, collect Q&A questions. Two easiest places, I would say, are Twitter, my Twitter, pinned tweet, and Discord. So be sure to check out my pinned tweet and follow me. I occasionally have fandom rants, and I tweet a good bit about wrestling here and there. Follow Ashton on Twitter as well, at Ashton_TWitWoW. His pinned tweet is the big one. It's the TWitWoW schedule for the month. So let's see. Today was the 24th. So obviously we're not going to have anything going on tomorrow because he has a Stardom 5-Star Grand Prix on here, but Stardom had show cancellations. So we've kind of, mentally updated that. What do you think, Ash? We'll probably get back to reviewing Stardom when? Like the last week of August, maybe?
Next
Yeah,
week.
next week. Yeah, exactly. So I guess you will just see us then, guys, for Q&A, 7 p.m. Thursday, the 26th. So get your questions in. You still have a little bit of time. If you haven't yet, please do so. Foster, I know you've been active in the chat. I know you wait to the very tail end because you love to be the main eventer that we all know you to be, you beautiful bastard. But everybody else, get your questions in as soon as you can. And until then, be good to yourselves, be good to each other. Tune in. Peace out.